Meet the Go4Zero team from Alberta, Canada. We're a group of physicians, basic scientists, economists, business owners, and citizen activists who are advocating for zero COVID with an elimination lens through a perspective of intersectionality, in that we recognize that certain communities are disproportionately impacted through the pandemic. And so we try to amplify those voices and make sure that we have the lens of equity through our work. Let's meet our team. Brian Singh is a pollster who contributed a lot of government and policy knowledge to our group. Dr. Christine Gibson is a family doctor, and one of her contributions was making a series of YouTube videos about anxiety over wearing a mask, the freedom despite restrictions, and also the equity lens.
We know that if at least 80% or 8 out of 10 people wear a mask in public, that will significantly lower the spread of COVID-19. How do we get there without creating more of a disadvantage for some citizens? One simple solution is for the government to give out reusable masks for each person.
Let's continue on with the rest of our team. Connor Rizuki is a PhD candidate at the University of Alberta. And because he's an aerosol scientist, he's done some incredible interviews. So he has a lot of credibility to be able to advocate for adequate ventilation in restaurants and schools and businesses. We all know how important that is. He's done a lot of incredible interviews and advocacy work on our team. Emma Dede is a Calgary-based activist, and her TikTok followers is what attracted her to our team. Have a look.
Hey, I just want to take another look at you.
You can see her creativity is very evident here. Emma did a series asking our Prime Minister to go for zero every single day on TikTok. Katie Ingraham is a restaurant owner and sadly had to close one of her businesses during COVID. She was a huge advocate for making sure that the response was very sensibly advocating for restaurant workers. So Katie was amplifying the voice of people who were placed at risk in that scenario. This would be one of the many interviews that Katie gave to press. Gosha Gasparowicz is somebody that many people follow on Twitter because she has been tracking the pandemic both through different graphic illustrations and very clearly defined examples of how the math works. So as a person who can help the general public understand public health epidemiology, she's been absolutely instrumental to our team. Shazma Mathani is another physician, part of our team, who does a ton of interviews. Working in the emergency room, she's very much on the front lines, and her Twitter presence has been incredibly powerful. You can see here just her recent tweets around helping people understand the importance of having double vaccinated population before we open up too quickly. Tassine Lada is another physician on the Go4Zero team. She's a pediatrician who has a master's in public health. So she has a fantastic lens to help people understand how the pandemic hits children and families. Here's an example of one of the interviews Tassine gave.
Stay where we are in the reopening plan, see how things go, make sure there's a good amount of time between each step, and factor in those leading indicators such as number of cases, factor in percentage of population receiving 2 doses of the vaccine.
We're so happy to have introduced you to our team Go4Zero in Alberta.